Okay, lesson 17. The next Kriya exercise. But first, as usual, last week I forgot the last sutra describing Trataka, Sutra 32. And it's an important sutra, so I will read it. Chapter 2 of the Hatha Yoga Pratipika, Sutra 32. By Trataka, all diseases of the eyes are removed and sloth, etc. are overcome. It should be carefully kept secret like a golden casket. We were told before to keep yoga secret at the introduction of the Kriya exercises, and I told you this is a booby trap. Because what follows after is the description of an exercise that should have been kept secret. So you have to pay attention there. But now that we have had all the Kriya exercises so far, why particularly with Trataka do they tell us to keep it secret? Like a casket, like a golden secret, like a golden casket, like a treasure. A golden casket is a treasure. Yoga is a treasure. It empowers people, literally gives power to people. Why Trataka and not Dauti, Vashti, Neti? Because Trataka is the exercise where you actually really start developing mind control through the practice of meditation, concentration, meditation. It is the stage where through Neti you have pinpointed Ajna Chakra, and with Trataka you start the actual process of mind control. You listen to nada, you concentrate on the minute object, as the sutra tells us to do, without blinking, so without losing concentration. In a long ago past, people were not intellectually developed like we are today as a result of more than 20 years of compulsory education. People have their animal instincts, and if you empower people through yoga without a proper moral foundation, people can start to use their empowerment, their powers, for evil purposes. And that is the reason why we are told to keep things like this secret. It means do not empower people who are not able to handle it, but it also means go through the proper process of learning this or teaching this as a teacher. Start with yama niyama. Do it systematically. Okay, so the next Kriya is then described in Sutra 33. Then Nauli is described. With the shoulders bent down, one should rotate to the right and left the stomach with the speed of a fast circling eddy. The Siddhas call this Nauli. If you can do this, it looks rather spectacular. You can look it up on YouTube, and you will see yogis doing like this. They make a vacuum in their stomach, isolate those two muscles here, and make it roll left and right. It's a nice exercise for reducing your waist circumference, losing some belly fat. It's not an exercise that is damaging like Dauti or Vashti if you do it regularly. You can try, experiment with it. I did, and sometimes I do. But this is, if you understand the whole process that is going on here, something very interesting is happening. After you have been taught mind control, very systematic, your attention is now drawn to Manipura Chakra. Remember last week we learned about Manipura Chakra. Manipura Chakra is like the sun in our planetary system, our solar system. Without sun there is no life. Without the energy of Manipura Chakra, there is no life in you. I explained about the generic prana that's being generated here that fuels all other chakras, all other functions of our being. And I explained that all our actions, mental, just a thought, verbal or physical, actions and reactions, all initiate in Manipura Chakra. Every action starts with a whirl of energy in Manipura Chakra that we are not aware of, but this exercise Nauli is asking you to start paying attention so that you start becoming aware. Why? It is because of our uncontrolled impulses that we always end up in trouble. Every conflict, every failure, everything we do initiates here. So we have these very strenuous exercises. The leg raise, 30, 60, 90 degrees and back. The whole boat and the half boat that are specifically challenging because they are dealing with Manipura Chakra. Manipura Chakra is the chakra that is under strain when we get into action. When we are pushing, when we are fighting, when we are struggling. So, do not forget that the whole purpose of yoga is sattva. Every element of yoga is designed to bring about harmony between Shiva and Shakti energy. One of the big disruptors of that harmony, sattva, is lack of control in Manipura Chakra. You know the yogi that is very peaceful and suddenly starts swearing, calling names and shouting and what the hell is going on? That shows that person is totally not in control of Manipura Chakra. There is a video, I sometimes share it in the Facebook group. If you scroll down, you will find it. It's called the Jamie Kennedy experiment. It's kind of a prank show. It's about a yogi with long hair, probably a wig. It's Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy, right?
I think so. He's a comedian.
And he's starting his yoga class. And the people in his class don't know anything about what's going to happen. And suddenly outside, construction workers start making a lot of noise with electric drills and saws and banging with a trash can on the pavement. So you see him there and his eyes start rolling, and suddenly he gets up and he opens the door. He says, "What the hell is going on here? Shut up!" And he slams the door. Bang! And of course, these construction workers, very big, like bodybuilder types, they come in and they scare the hell out of these. The people in the yoga class, they have no idea that it's a prank. They're like, "Oh my God, no, I didn't do anything. It was him." I'm just trying to tell you something about Manipura Chakra. It's human that we act and react, but as a yogi, becoming more and more conscious, sensitive, you know that if you do something, it will lead to something. Action leads to reaction. When you allow Manipura Chakra to just, whenever there is a situation, to explode, which is normal, what normal human beings kind of do without being able to control it, it leads to a reaction. Conflict is born. Because you shout at somebody in anger, that person will not just sing Om and say, "Okay, thank you for your anger and your emotions," because usually people will jump on the conflict and react in kind. Later on, we will learn that Patanjali says the misery that has not come can and must be avoided. You know from today, you know that if you act in an impulse, in emotion, there is always a reaction. What Patanjali is saying, misery that has not come can and must be avoided, is appealing to your power of anticipation, which is a power that every yoga practitioner develops. It's like playing chess and being able to think 2-3 steps ahead. Strategy. You start applying that to daily life situations, and you know, if you allow yourself to act and react on an impulse, you will just have another conflict again, which nobody really likes, actually. That is what this is about. Become conscious of Manipura Chakra, become conscious of all actions and reactions being initiated there, and then slowly but certainly trying to control it. I've said before, it's part of our culture, all cultures. As a child, when getting angry, your mom or a teacher or a neighbor would tell you, "Hey, count to 10. Take a deep breath." It buys you some time to observe your reaction and the possible reaction. Your action and the possible reaction. So here we refine that to a very high level. That is what Nauli is about. We're going to do an experiment because human beings are inherently doubting Thomases, me included, of course, and very human. So we don't believe in energy. We don't believe in spirit. We don't believe in subtle phenomena. The experiment will show that something that seems very unlikely is actually real. And that is what Nauli is doing. You close your eyes, you go through Dhauti, Vashti, Neti, Trataka, you end up in Nada. To initiate Nauli, you simply bring your attention to the region where you suspect the Manipura Chakra to be. Now chakras are said to be spinning. And they're spinning like cogwheels, so they are counter spinning. This way. So the experiment we are going to do is to try to detect, to feel the direction in which Manipura Chakra is spinning. You do that by spinning clockwise and then reversing, spinning counterclockwise. And you repeat that. And you try to feel if there is a difference between clockwise and counterclockwise. If you go in the right direction, it gives a sense of well-being, a sense of sattva. But it is so subtle that it is hard to detect. That is why we are doubting Thomases. It's so subtle that it's hard to detect, to observe. If you go in the wrong direction, you would get a subtle sense of discomfort. Like hair in your neck standing up, or a shiver, but it's more subtle than that. For more than 20 years, we have done this experiment in every course, and the outcome is always clear. The majority of the people, even while not believing it, but will confirm the direction in which the chakra actually spins. And few people, because of doubt, will think it's the other way around. Korean people, Japanese people, they know from their grandmother which is the right direction. Because grandmothers, although they do not know technically what we're talking about here, they have intuitively a knowledge about the spinning of the chakra, Manipura Chakra in particular, that goes back thousands and thousands of years. And they use it to make a baby stop crying. They use it to make a baby calm and go to sleep. I'll explain that, of course, after we're done, because I don't want to tell you yet which way the chakra is spinning. But if you're Korean or Japanese, your grandma knows. Even though she may not believe in yoga. Let me not forget the sutra following. 34th Sutra, the Nauli, this Nauli, the crown of Hatha Yoga practice, stimulates the gastric fire with dough, increases the digestive power, produces happiness, and destroys all diseases and disorders of the humors. Gastric fire and digestive power are here mentioned in one sentence, while often they are being confused. Gastric fire is what I last week explained to be Agni, or vital energy. Prana, Ki, Chi, the energy that brings life, growth, expansion. Digestive power is digestive power, which is directly related to Manipura Chakra. Gastric fire, that is Agni, that is the fire of the three chakras fusing. Remember last week I explained? So when you have more fire, naturally you will be happier, healthier, which is described there as it produces happiness and destroys all diseases and disorders of the humors. Nothing to add to that. We practice yoga in general. Here it is limited to Nauli, but it applies to the whole of yoga practice. More energy equals more happiness, equals more happiness, more health. And in the process, that leads to awakening of higher consciousness. A very systematic approach. If you understand the logic in the order of how you are being initiated into all this, otherwise Kriya is being taught as very compartmentalized and showing no connection between asana practice and preparation for energy control, which we will start doing next week. Pranayama. When you learn pranayama, you will start to see the logic of this approach. The bridge function that it fulfills. Okay?